The grandeur of royal life is often adorned with public smiles, royal waves, and glittering tiaras, but behind palace doors, royalty too faces the shadows of fear, uncertainty, and emotional distress. This week, the Danish royal family has been thrust into a moment of quiet panic and public concern, as the beloved and resilient Queen Margrethe II, known affectionately as Daisy to many Danes, was admitted to hospital under observation for a cold. What appears, on the surface, to be a minor health concern has instead sent emotional tremors through the heart of the royal family, particularly affecting her youngest son, Prince Joachim. In this exclusive and detailed report, we take you deep into the dramatic hours that followed the Queen's admission, exploring Prince Joachim's deeply emotional reaction, the atmosphere within the Danish monarchy, and what this unexpected turn might signify for the royal family's future. More than just a health update, this is a rare glimpse into the vulnerability of a royal son, the burden of legacy, and the enduring love between a mother and her child. When the news broke that Queen Margrethe II had been admitted to Rigshospitalet in Copenhagen for cold observation, there was an eerie stillness in the royal corridors. It was not the first time the 84-year-old monarch had faced health concerns. Her previous back surgery and recent mobility issues had made headlines, but this moment felt different. The Danish media was swift but cautious, reporting only the facts released by the royal court. The Queen was under observation for symptoms resembling a severe cold and had been admitted as a precautionary measure. While the statement was brief, the silence that followed spoke volumes. There were no scheduled public appearances cancelled by other royals, no rushed announcements, but behind closed doors, the entire royal machinery shifted into quiet concern. For Prince Joachim, currently residing in Washington, D.C. due to his diplomatic role as the Danish defense attaché to the Embassy of Denmark in the United States, the distance between continents suddenly became unbearable. Sources close to the royal household revealed that Prince Joachim was shocked and deeply worried upon receiving the news of his mother's hospitalization. The prince, known for his composed and often restrained public persona, was said to be visibly distressed, immediately clearing his diplomatic schedule and initiating constant communications with his family back in Denmark. His wife, Princess Marie, stood closely by his side, offering calm support, while also managing her own concerns. The couple, often described as deeply united, reportedly held a series of private conversations with royal doctors and aides, trying to piece together the Queen's condition minute by minute. Those who know Prince Joachim personally describe him as deeply attached to his mother, despite a sometimes complicated royal dynamic. The Queen's recent decision to strip his children of their royal titles in favor of a slimmed-down monarchy had reportedly strained their relationship. But in moments like these, grievances dissolve, and love surfaces with poignant urgency. Crown Prince Frederik, Queen Margrethe's eldest son and heir to the throne, was reportedly at Amalienborg Palace when the news arrived. Without delay, he visited the hospital quietly through a private entrance. He and Crown Princess Mary have taken on more duties since Queen Margrethe's abdication in January 2024, and their presence at the Queen's side during this moment was both symbolic and deeply personal. Princess Benedict, the Queen's sister, was also informed immediately and, according to palace insiders, reached out to both her nephews, Frederik and Joachim, offering words of comfort and family solidarity. Meanwhile, Queen Margrethe herself, known for her stubborn resilience, was reportedly insistent on minimizing public concern. "Tell them it's just a cold," she reportedly told her aides, waving off the seriousness of the situation in typical Margrethe fashion. But doctors weren't as dismissive. Given her age and recent medical history, they kept her under strict observation. In Denmark, the Queen is not merely a monarch. She is an institution, a cultural icon, and for many, a maternal figure who has stood firm through decades of political and societal change. News of her hospitalization sent ripples through the Danish public, with citizens taking to social media to send messages of love and prayers. Local news channels were flooded with archive footage of Queen Margrethe through the years: her coronation, her many Christmas speeches, her elegant state visits, and her warm interactions with children during public events. It was a nation collectively remembering the Queen not as a figurehead, but as a person who has shaped national identity. And for Prince Joachim, watching these broadcasts from across the Atlantic, the emotional weight was immense. Privately, he has reportedly expressed guilt at being so far away during this critical time. The relationship between Queen Margrethe and Prince Joachim has long been the subject of quiet royal watchers' speculation. Joachim, the second son, has often lived in the shadow of his elder brother, Crown Prince Frederick. While he has performed royal duties diligently, he has also chosen to forge his own path, serving in the military, moving to France, and now taking on a diplomatic role in the US. The Queen's controversial decision in 2022 to remove the prince's children's royal titles shocked the nation. Joachim publicly expressed disappointment and pain, stating that his children were being punished. Queen Margrethe later issued a public apology, admitting the situation had been handled poorly but insisting the decision was necessary for the monarchy's future. Despite these tensions, there has always been a bond, a love that survives royal protocol. And in this moment of vulnerability, it is that love which rises to the surface. While the royal court insists that the Queen is in stable condition and expected to recover, many are beginning to ask the difficult questions: what if this signals a deeper health issue? Will there be a need for Prince Joachim to return home urgently? Could the Queen's condition prompt a broader re-evaluation of royal duties and succession timelines? For now, Crown Prince Frederick remains the acting head of state, ready to step in if needed. But for Prince Joachim, the concern is less about protocol and more about personal connection. Insiders say he has requested near-hourly updates on his mother's condition and is prepared to fly to Copenhagen immediately if her condition worsens. The Danish embassy is reportedly on standby. Inside Amalienborg Palace, a quiet vigil has begun. Staff members speak in hushed tones, and Queen Margrethe's favorite corgis are said to be missing her presence. The Queen's chambers remain undisturbed, save for the regular check-ins by trusted aides. In one poignant scene described by a palace insider, a handwritten letter from Prince Joachim was delivered directly to the Queen's hospital bedside. In it, he reportedly expressed his love, his regret at being far, and his prayers for her swift recovery. The Queen, deeply moved, reportedly asked for it to be read aloud twice. As Denmark watches and waits, the nation finds itself emotionally united. In churches across the country, candles have been lit. At the royal chapel, flowers have begun to gather outside the gates. Young children, taught about the Queen in school, have drawn pictures of her in royal robes, accompanied by messages like, "Get well soon, Daisy." It's a reminder that even in an age of political turmoil and modern distractions, the monarchy still holds a powerful emotional place in Danish hearts. Though he remains in Washington, D.C., Prince Joachim is reportedly considering traveling to Copenhagen if doctors recommend prolonged observation or if there are any signs of decline. His diplomatic obligations have been officially reduced for the next few days to allow for flexibility. Princess Marie has been managing communications with palace aides while also supporting their children, who are said to be emotionally affected by their grandmother's hospitalization. The couple's eldest son, Count Henrik, reportedly asked his father, "Is grandmother going to be okay?" To which Joachim replied with a tight smile, "Yes, she's strong." Queen Margrethe has always been admired for her stoicism and energy, even in her 80s. Her abdication earlier this year was framed not as a sign of weakness but as a move of responsibility, ensuring a smooth transition to her son. But this hospitalization reminds all that even queens are not immune to age, vulnerability, and illness. Doctors continue to monitor her condition, and while initial signs are positive, it is clear that the royal family, and the country, is bracing for all possibilities. As Prince Joachim paces his study in Washington and Crown Prince Frederick watches over his mother's bedside in Copenhagen, the House of Glucksburg faces a very human moment, one that transcends titles and duty. It is a moment of family, of love, of worry. For viewers around the world, this is a poignant reminder that even behind palace walls, the emotions of a son fearing for his mother's health are universal. As we await further updates, one thing is certain: the eyes of Denmark, and indeed the world, are now fixed on Queen Margrethe's hospital room. Not because she is royalty, but because she is loved. And Prince Joachim, far from home yet emotionally tethered to his mother's bedside, embodies the ache of all children who have ever feared losing a parent. We will continue to follow this story and bring you the most heartfelt, accurate, and respectful coverage of this unfolding royal moment. What do you think Prince Joachim is feeling right now, and how do you believe this emotional moment might affect his relationship with the Queen moving forward? Like, share, and subscribe for more emotional and exclusive updates from the royal world. Stay connected, stay informed, and never forget that behind every royal title is a human heart.